Welcome back to Rise and Scripts. What's up, yeah, I'm out here. What's up, man? SHALOM. What up? Out here, ready to read something. Welcome back to Rise and Scripts, man. We are back at it with part two. Part two of the KEBRA NAGAST. Part two of the KEBRA NAGAST. Man. The Queen of Sheba and her only son, Menelik. Ooh. Hey, he had some interesting stuff in part one. Some interesting things in part one. And I don't know if these are verses. It has numbers and are paragraphs. Certain paragraphs, or the paragraphs are numbered. We stopped off. I think that's what I call them. I don't know if they'd be called sections or chapters. Because it just has P30, P33, which is the numbers that correlate with what I'm calling the paragraphs. Big now. But we're going to keep moving along, though. One book at a time, man. We're going to see what it is and what it ain't, what we can and what we can't. And the do's and the don'ts, man, that's been laid before us in a sea of pages that's called the KEBRA NAGAST, which has been translated from the Coptic and the Arabic by E.A. Wallace Budge. Man, and so far, some interesting things. Menelik. Menelik. So, hey, but all praises for the day. All praises, man. I got breath to breathe. I got everything I need to succeed, man, after a long day yesterday of fishing and cleaning fish and digging a hole in my garden to throw the fish guts. Oh, man. Oh, but we ready. Freezer full. Oh, all praises. Oh, happy new moon, everybody, man. All praises. Let's give honor and glory. All praises to the Most High. Set up some, blow up the trumpets and let the sound be heard. Oh, did you see the moon? Did you see the moon? That one for the new moon, too. Like that dude up there. Oh man, let's go. Let's get into it. We're gonna keep going and keep moving. I haven't decided yet on what to call it, paragraph or chapter 21, but we're gonna start off there. We're gonna get back there in the KEBRA NAGAST, the Queen of Sheba and her only son Menelik. In part two of this Rise and Script. Man, let's get it. Concerning the Queen of the South. Need some water. Bam. Concerning the Queen of the South. And how this queen was born, I have discovered written in that manuscript. And in this manner also doth the evangelist mention that woman. And our Lord Jesus Christ, in condemning the Jewish people, the crucifiers, who lived at that time, spake, saying, the Queen of the South shall rise up on the day of judgment, and shall dispute with, and condemn, and overcome this generation, who would not hearken unto the preaching of my word. She came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And the Queen of the South, of whom he spake, was the Queen of Ethiopia. And in the words, ends of the earth, he maketh allusion to the delicacy of the sun and the hunger on the way and the thirst for water. And this queen of the south was very beautiful in face, and her stature was superb, and her understanding and intelligence, which God had given her, were of such high character that she went to Jerusalem to hear the wisdom of Solomon. Now, this was done by the command of God, and it was his good pleasure. And moreover, she was exceedingly rich, for God had given her glory and riches and gold and silver and splendid apparel and camels and slaves and trading men or merchants. And they carried on her business and trafficked for her by sea and by land, and in India and in Aswan. Concerning Tamrin the merchant. And there was a certain wise man, the leader of the merchant caravan, whose name was Tamrin. And he used to load 520 camels, and he possessed about 73 ships. 373. Now, at that time, King Solomon wished to build the house of God. And he sent out messages among all the merchants in the east and in the west, and in the north and in the south, bidding the merchants come and take gold and silver from him, so that he might take from them whatsoever was necessary for the work. And certain men reported to him concerning this rich Ethiopian merchant. And Solomon sent to him a message and told him to bring whatsoever he wished for the country, from the country of Arabia, red gold and black wood that could not be eaten by worms, and sapphires. And that merchant, whose name was Tamrin, the merchant of the queen of Ethiopia, went to Solomon the king, and Solomon took whatsoever he desired from him. And he gave to that merchant whatsoever he wished for in great abundance. Now that merchant was a man of great understanding, and he saw and comprehended the wisdom of Solomon, and he marveled thereat, and he watched carefully, so that he might learn how the king made answer by his word, and understand his judgment, and the readiness of his mouth, and the discreetness of his speech, and the manner of his life, and his sitting down and his rising up, and his occupations, and his love, and his administration, and his table, and his law. To those whom Solomon had to give orders, he spake with humility and graciousness. And when they had committed a fault, he admonished them. For he ordered his house in the wisdom and fear of God. And he smiled graciously on the fools and set them on the right road. And he dwelt gently with the maidservants. He opened his mouth in parables, and his words were sweeter than the purest honey. His whole behavior was admirable, and his whole aspect pleasant. For wisdom is beloved by men of understanding, and is rejected by fools. And when that merchant had seen all these things, he was astonished, and he marveled exceedingly. For those who were wont to see Solomon held him in complete affection, and he became their teacher. And because of his wisdom and excellence, those who had once come to him did not wish to leave him and go away from him. And the sweetness of his words was like water to the man who is at thirst, and like bread to the hungry man, and like healing to the sick man, and like apparel to the naked man. And he was like a father to the orphans. And he judged with righteousness and accepted the person of no man. He had glory and riches, which God had given unto him in great abundance, namely gold and silver, and precious stones, and rich apparel, and cattle, and sheep, and goats innumerable. Now in the days of Solomon the king, gold was as common as bronze, and silver as lead, and bronze as lead and iron, was abundant as the grass of the field and the reeds of the desert. And cedar wood was also abundant. And God had given him glory and riches and wisdom and grace in such abundance that there was none like unto him among his predecessors. And among those who came after him, there was none like unto him. How that merchant returned to Ethiopia. And it came to pass that the merchant Tamar wished to return to his own country. And he went to Solomon and bowed low before him and embraced him and said unto him, Peace be to thy majesty. Send me away and let me depart to my country, to my lady. For I have tarried long in beholding thy glory and thy wisdom and the abundance of dainty meats, wherewith thou hast regaled me. Dainty meats. Oh boy, you season that thing good. Dainty meats. Well, you has thou regaled me. And now I will depart to my lady. With that I could abide with thee, even as one of the very least of thy servants, for blessed are they who hear thy voice and perform thy commands. Would that I could abide here and never leave thee, but thou must send me away to my lady because of what hath been committed to my charge, so that I may give unto her her property. And as for myself, I am her servant. And Solomon went into his house and gave unto him whatever valuable thing he desired for the country of Ethiopia. And he sent him away in peace. And Tamar bade him farewell, and went forth and journeyed along his road, and came to his lady, and delivered over to her all the possessions which he had brought. And he related unto her how he had arrived in the country of Jerusalem, and how he had gone into the presence of the Solomon, the king, and all that he had heard and seen. And he told her how Solomon administrated just judgment, and how he spake with authority, and how he decided rightly in all of the matters which he inquired into, and how he returned soft and gracious answers, and how there was nothing false about him, and how he appointed inspectors over the 700 woodmen who hauled the timber and the 800 masons who hewed the stone, and how he sought to learn from all the merchants and dealers concerning the cunning craft and the work thereof, and how he received information and imparted it twofold, and how all the handicraft of his works were performed with wisdom. And in each morning, Tamar related to the queen about all the wisdom of Solomon, and how he administrated judgment and did what was just, and how he ordered his table, and how he made feasts, and how he taught wisdom, and how he directed his servants and all his affairs on the wise system, and how they went on their errands at his command, and how no man defrauded another, and how no man purloined the property of his neighbor. Well, that's the word, purloined. 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 And how no man purloined the property of his neighbor, and how there was neither a thief nor a robber in his day. For in his wisdom he knew those who had done wrong, and he chastened them and made them afraid, and he did not repeat their evil deeds, but they lived in a state of peace, which had mingled therein the fear of the king. Purloined. Purloined definition.
Purloin.
to steal, how no man flinch to steal, to flinch, or take something dishonestly, often in a sneaky or stealthy manner. He purloined me. How dare thee purloin? He purloined me. And I felt purloined last night. Timothy. And how no man took something of the property of his neighbor, and how no man purloined the property of his neighbor, and how there was neither a thief nor a robber in his days. For in his wisdom he knew those who had done wrong, and he chastened them and made them afraid, and they did not repeat their evil deeds, but they lived in a state of peace which had mingled therein with the fear of the king. All these things did Tamar relate unto the queen, and each morning he recalled the things that he had seen when the king and with the king, and described them unto her. And the queen was struck with wonder at the things that she heard from the merchant, her servant, and she thought in her heart that she would go to him, and she wept by reason of the greatness of her pleasure, things that in those things that Tamar had told her. For real? Tell me more. He did what? Oh, I must see him. I must see him. Solomon is his name? Solomon. Look how it sounds. Solomon. It sounds royal. Kingly. Solomon. Tell me again. I like that one. with the woman and the children. I like that one. Tell me that story. Call Tamron. You know what time it is? Tell me about Solomon. Let me not tell my people. And all these things did Tamar relate unto the queen. And each morning he recalled the things that he had seen with the king, and described them unto her. And the queen was struck dumb with wonder at the things that she heard from the merchant, her servant. And she thought in her heart that she would go to him. And she wept by reason of the greatness of her pleasure in the things that Tamar had told her. And she was exceedingly anxious to go to him. But when she pondered upon the long journey, she thought that it was too far and too difficult to undertake. And time after time, she asked Tamar questions about Solomon. And time after time, Tamar told her about him. And she became very wishful and most desirous to go to see, that she might hear his wisdom and see his face and embrace him and petition his royalty. And her heart inclined to go to him. For God had made her heart inclined to go, and had made her to desire it. How the queen made ready to set out for her journey. And the queen said unto them, Hearken, O ye, who are my people, and give ye ear to my words. For I desire words, and my heart seeketh to find understanding. I am smitten with the love of wisdom, and I am constrained by the cords of understanding. For wisdom is far better than treasure of gold and silver, and wisdom is the best of everything that hath been created on the earth. Now unto what under the sun, now unto what under the heaven shall wisdom be compared? It is sweeter than honey, and it maketh one to rejoice more than wine, and it illuminateth more than the sun, and it is to be loved more than precious stones, and it is fattened more than oil, and it satisfieth more than dainty meats, and it giveth a man more renown than thousands of gold and silver. It is a source of joy for the heart, and a bright and shining light for the eyes, and a giver of speed to the feet, and a shield for the breast, and a helmet for the head, and a chain work for the neck, and a belt for the loins. It maketh the ears to hear and the hearts to understand. It is a teacher of those who are learned, and it is a counselor of those who are discreet and prudent, and it giveth fame to those who seek after it. And as for a kingdom, it cannot stand without wisdom, and the riches cannot be preserved without wisdom. The foot cannot keep wherein it had set itself without wisdom, and without wisdom that which the tongue speaketh is not acceptable. Wisdom is the best of all treasures. He who heapeth up gold and silver doeth so to the profit without wisdom. But he who heapeth up wisdom, no man can filch it from his heart. That which fools heap up, the wise consume. And because of the wickedness of those who do evil, the righteous are praised. And because of the wicked acts of fools, the wise are beloved. Wisdom is an exalted thing in the rich, and a rich thing. I will love her like a mother, and she shall embrace me like her child. I will follow the footprints of wisdom, and she shall protect me forever. I will seek after wisdom, and she shall be with me forever. I will follow her footprints, and she shall not cast me away. I will lean upon her, and she shall be unto me a wall of adamant. I will seek asylum with her, and she shall be unto me power and strength. I will rejoice in her, and she shall be unto me abundant grace. For it is right for us to follow the footprints of wisdom, and for the sole of our feet to stand upon the threshold of the gates of wisdom. Let us seek her, and we shall find her. Let us love her, and she will not withdraw herself from us. Let us pursue her, and she will overtake us. Let us ask, and we will receive, shall receive. And let us turn our hearts to her, so that we may not forget her. If we remember her, she will have us in remembrance. And in connection with fools thou shalt not remember wisdom, for they do not hold her in honor, and she does not love them. The honoring of wisdom is the honoring of the wise man, and the loving of wisdom is the loving of the wise man. Love the wise man, and withdraw not thyself from him, and by the sight of him thou shalt become wise. Hearken to the utterance of his mouth, so that thou mayest become like unto him. And watch the place whereon he hath set his foot, and leave him not, so that thou mayest receive the remainder of his wisdom. And I love him merely on hearing concerning him, and without seeing him. And the whole story of him that had been told to me is to me as the desire of my heart, and like water to the thirsty man. And her nobles and her slaves and her handmaidens and her counselors answered and said unto her, O our lady, as for wisdom, it is not lacking in thee, and it is because of thy wisdom that thou lovest wisdom. And for us, if thou goest, we will go with thee. And if thou sittest down, we will sit down with thee. Our death shall be with thy death, and our life with thy life. Then the queen made ready to set out on her journey with great pomp and majesty, and with great equipment and many preparations. For by the will of God her heart desired to go to Jerusalem, so that she might hear the wisdom of Solomon. Solomon, say it again. Solomon. I gotta go. Where you live? Jerusalem? I heard about them. The Israelites. Man. Then the queen made ready to set out on her journey with great pomp and majesty, and with great equipment and many preparations. For by the will of God her heart desired to go to Jerusalem, so that she might hear the wisdom of Solomon. For she had hearkened eagerly. So she made ready to set out, and 797 camels were loaded, and mules and asses innumerable were loaded. And she set out on her journey and followed her road without pause, and her heart had confidence in God. All right, queen, I'm going to see my man. I don't know him, but I love him. The Lord put it in my heart. Oh, go get him, queen. How the queen came to Solomon the king. Oh, man. And she arrived in Jerusalem. And brought to the king very many precious gifts, which he desired to possess greatly. And he paid her great honor and rejoiced. And he gave her a habitation in the royal palace near him. And he set her food both for the morning and evening meal, each time 15 measures by the quarry of finely ground white meal, cooked with oil and gravy and sauce in abundance, and 30 measures by the quarry of crushed white meal, wherefrom bread for 350 people was made, with the necessary platters and trays, and 10 stalled oxen, and 5 bulls, and 50 sheep without the necessary, and 50 sheep, without counting the kids, and deer, and gazelles, and fatted fowls, and a vessel of wine containing 60 garret measures, and 30 measures of old wine, and 25 singing men, and 25 singing women, and the finest honey, and the rich sweets, and some of the food which he himself ate, and some of the wine whereof he drank. And every day he arrayed her in 11 garments which bewitched the eyes. And he visited her and was gratified. And she visited him and was gratified. And she saw his wisdom and his judgments and his splendor and his grace, and heard the eloquence of his speech. Solomon. It's Solomon. He's a bad man, Majema. Singers. Go sing to her. Do that stuff in rehearsed. Look this up. Solomon son of some singers, 50 singers. 11 garments, 50 singers. Pooh. Solomon was splurging. Oh man, it's nothing. And she marveled in her heart and was utterly astonished in her mind. And she recognized in her understanding and perceived very clearly with her eyes how admirable he was. And she wondered exceedingly because of what she saw and heard with him, and how perfect he was in composure, and wise in understanding, and pleasant in graciousness, and commanding in stature. And she observed the subtlety of his voice, and the discreet utterances of his lips, and that he gave his commands with dignity, and that his replies were made quietly and with the fear of God. All these things she saw, and she was astonished at the abundance of his wisdom. And there was nothing whatsoever wanting in his words and speech, but everything that he spake was perfect. And Solomon was working in the building of the house of God. And he rose up and went to the right and to the left and forward and backward. And he showed the workmen the measurements and weight and the space covered by the materials. And he told the workers in metal how to use the hammer and the drill and the chisel. And he showed the stonemasons the angle, the measure, and the circle, and the surface measure. And everything was wrought by his order. And there was none who set himself in opposition to his word. And for the light of his heart was like a lamp in the darkness, and his wisdom was as abundant as the sand. And of the speech of the beast and the birds there was nothing hidden from him. And he forced the devils to obey him by his wisdom. And he did everything by means of the skill which God gave him when he made supplication to him. For he did not ask for victory over his enemies. And he did not ask for riches and fame, but he asked God to give him wisdom and understanding, whereby he might rule his people and build his house and beautify the work of God, and all that he had given him in wisdom and understanding. How the king held converse with the queen. And the queen Mecca spake unto King Solomon, saying, Blessed art thou, my lord, and in that such wisdom and understanding have been given unto thee. For myself I only wish that I could be as one of the least of thine handmaidens, so that I could wash thy feet, and hearken to thy wisdom, and apprehend thy understanding, and serve thy majesty, and enjoy thy wisdom. Oh, how greatly have pleased me thy answer, the sweetness of thy voice, and the beauty of thy going, and the graciousness of thy words, and the readiness thereof. The sweetness of thy voice maketh the heart to rejoice, and maketh the bones fat, and giveth courage to hearts, and goodwill and grace to the lips, and strength to the gate. I look upon thee, and I see that thy wisdom is immeasurable, and thine understanding inexhaustible, and that it is like unto a lamp in the darkness, and like unto a pomegranate in the garden. I wonder why. And I like unto a pearl in the sea. Other stuff I understand. Why the pomegranate? Is it because of the many, what it is? Little seeds, little things. I like unto a pearl in the sea, and like unto the morning star among the stars, and like unto the light of the moon in the midst, and like unto a glorious dawn and sunrise in the heavens. And I give thanks unto him that brought me thither, and showed thee to me, and made me to tread upon the threshold of thy gate, and made me to hear thy voice. And King Solomon answered and said unto her, Wisdom and understanding spring from thee thyself. As for me, I only possess them in the measure in which the God of Israel had given them to me, because I asked and entreated them from him. And thou, although thou dost not know the God of Israel, hast this wisdom which thou hast made to grow in thine heart, and it has made thee come to see me, the vassal and slave of my God, and the building of his sanctuary, which I am establishing, and wherein I serve and move round about my lady, the tabernacle of the law of God and of Israel. Let me read it right. The tabernacle of the law of the God of Israel, the holy and heavenly Zion. Now I am the slave of my God, and I am not a free man. I do not serve according to my own will, but according to his will. And this speech of mine springeth not from myself, but I give utterance only to what he maketh me to utter. Whatsoever he commandeth me, that I do. Let me get my marker right there. Do. Tell him, Solomon. I am a slave to my God, and I am not a free man. I do not serve according to my own will, but according to his will. And this speech of mine springeth not from me, but I give utterance only to what he maketh me to utter. Whatsoever he commandeth me, that I do. Whatsoever he wisheth me to go, wheresoever he wisheth me to go, thither I go. Whatsoever he teacheth me, that I speak, that concerning which he giveth me wisdom I understand. For from being only dust he made me flesh, and from being only water he made me a solid man, and from being only an ejected drop which shot forth upon the ground, would have dried up on the surface of the earth. He had fashioned me in his own likeness, and had made me in his own image. He hath made me a solid man, and from being only an ejected drop, from a nut, I'd have fell on the ground, I'd have dried up in the sun, but he fashioned me. Concerning the labor, tell him, Solomon. And as Solomon was talking in this wise with the queen, he saw a certain laborer carrying a stone upon his head, and a skin of water upon his neck and shoulders. And his food and his sandals were tied about his loins, and there were pieces of wood in his hands. His garments were ragged and tattered. The sweat fell in drops from his face, and the water from the skin of water dripped down upon his feet. And the laborer passed before Solomon. And as he was going by, the king said unto him, Stand still. And the laborer stood still. And the king turned to the queen and said unto her, Look at this man. Wherein am I superior to this man? And in what am I better than this man? And wherein shall I glory over this man? For I am a man, and dust and ashes, who tomorrow will become worms and corruption. And yet, at this moment, I appear like one who will never die, who would make any complaint against God if he were to give unto this man as he had given to me. And if he were to make me even as this man is, are we not both of us beings that is to say men? As is his death, so is my death. And as is his life, so is my life. Yet this man is stronger to work than I am. For God giveth power to those who are feeble, just as it pleaseth him to do so. And Solomon said unto the laborer, Get thee to thy work. Shalom. And he spake further unto the queen, saying, What is the use of us, the children of men, if we do not exercise kindness and love upon earth? Are we not all nothingness, mere grass of the field, which withereth in its season and is burnt in the fire? On the earth we provide ourselves with dainty meats, and we wear costly apparel, but even whilst we are alive, we are stinking corruption. We provide ourselves with sweet scents and delicate unguents, but even whilst we are alive, we are dead in sin and in transgressions. Being wise, we become fools through disobedience and deeds of iniquity. Being held in honor, we become contemptible through magic and sorcery and the worship of idols. Now the man who is a being of honor, who was created in the image of God, if he doth that which is good, becometh like God. But the man who is a thing of nothingness, if he committed sin, becometh like unto the devil, the arrogant devil, who refused to obey the command of his creator. And all the arrogant among men walk in his way, and they shall be judged with him. And God loveth the lowly minded, and those who practice humility walk in his way, and they shall rejoice in his kingdom. Blessed is the man who knoweth wisdom, that is to say, compassion and the fear of God. And when the queen heard this, she said, How thy voice doth please me, Solomon. And how greatly, when the queen is, and how greatly do thy words and the utterance of thy voice delight me. Tell me now, whom is it right for me to worship? We worship the Son according as our fathers have taught us to do, because we say that the Son is the King of the gods. And there are others among our subjects who worship other things. Some worship stones, and some worship wood and trees, and some worship carved figures, and some worship images of gold and silver. And we worship the Son, for he cooked our food, and moreover, he illuminated the darkness and removeth fear. We call him our King, and we call him our Creator, and we worship him as our God. For no man had told us that besides him there is another God. But we have heard that there is with you, Israel, another God, whom we do not know. And men have told us that he had sent down to you from heaven a tabernacle, and had given unto you a tablet of the ordering of the angels by the hand of Moses, and live with one woman, by the hand of Moses, Bayal, Moses, the prophet. And this also we have heard, that he himself cometh down to you and talketh to you and informeth you concerning his ordinances and commandments. She want to know how Solomon gave commandments to the queen. After the king answered and said unto her, verily it is right that they, men, should worship God, who created the universe, and the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land, the sun and the moon, the stars and the brilliant bodies of the heavens, the trees and the stones, the beast and the feathered fowl, the wild beast and the crocodiles, the fish and the whales, the hippopotamuses and the water lizards, the lightnings and the crashes of thunder, the clouds and the thunders, and the good and the evil. It is meet that him alone we should worship, in fear and trembling, with joy and with gladness. For he is the Lord of the universe, the creator of angels and men. And it is he who killeth and maketh to live. It is he who inflicted punishment and showeth compassion, who raiseth up from the ground him that is in misery, who exalted the poor from the dust, who maketh to be sorrowful and who to rejoice, who raiseth up and bringeth down. No one can chide him, for he is the Lord of the universe, and there is no one who can say unto him, what hast thou done? And unto him it is meet that there should be praise and thanksgiving from angels and men. And as concerning what thou sayest, that he had given unto you the tabernacle of the law, verily, there had been given unto us the tabernacle of the God of Israel, which was created before all creation by his glorious counsel. And he had made to come down to us his commandments, done into writing, so that we may know his decree and in the judgment that he had ordained in the mountain of his holiness. And the queen said, from this moment I will not worship the sun, but I will worship the creator of the sun, the God of Israel. And that tabernacle of the God of Israel shall be unto me, my lady, and unto my seed after me, and unto all my kingdoms that are under my dominion. And because of this, I have found favor before thee, and before the God of Israel, my creator, who had brought me unto thee, and had made me to hear thy voice, and had shown me thy face, and had made me to understand thy commandment. Then she returned to her house. And the queen used to go to Solomon and return continually, and hearken unto his wisdom, and keep it in her heart. Solomon. Did you hear what Solomon said? Ooh, Solomon is a bad mama jama. Solomon. And the queen used to go to Solomon and return continually, and hearken unto his wisdom, and keep it in her heart. And Solomon used to go and visit her, and answer all the questions which she put to him. And the queen used to visit him and ask him questions, and he informed her concerning every matter that she wished to inquire about. And after this, she had dwelt 6 months. The queen wished to return to her own country, and she sent a message to Solomon saying, I desire greatly to dwell with thee. But now, for the sake of all my people, I wish to return to my own country. And as for that which I have heard, may God make it to bear fruit in my heart and in the hearts of all those who have heard it with me. For the ear could never be filled with the hearing of thy wisdom, and the eye could never be filled with the sight of the same. Now, it was not only the queen who came to hear the wisdom of Solomon, but very many used to come. I don't like how they say it. But very many used to come from the cities and countries, both from far, and from both from near and from far. For in those days there was no man found to be like unto him for wisdom. And it was not only human beings who came to him, but the wild animals and the birds used to come to him and hearken unto his voice and hold converse with him. And then they returned to their own countries, and every one of them was astonished at his wisdom and marveled at what he had seen and heard. And when the queen sent her message to Solomon, saying that she was about to depart to her own country, he pondered in his heart and said, a woman in such splendid beauty hath come to me from the ends of the earth. What do I know? Will God give me seed in her? Now, as it is said in the book of Kings, Solomon the king was a lover of women. And he married wives of the Hebrews and the Egyptians and the Canaanites and the Edomites and the Moabites and from Riph and Kurgu and Damascus and Syria, and women who were reported to be beautiful. And he had 400 queens and 600 concubines. Now this which he did was not for the sake of fornication, but as a result of the wise intent that God had given unto him, and his remembering what God had said unto Abraham, I will make thy seed like the stars of heaven for number, and like the sands of the sea. And Solomon said in his heart, what do I know? Peradventure God will give me men children from each one of these women. Therefore, when he did thus, he acted wisely, saying, my children shall inherit the cities of the enemies, and shall destroy those who worship idols. Now these early peoples lived under the law of the flesh, for the grace of the Holy Spirit had not been given unto them. And to those who live after Christ, it was given to live with one woman under the law of marriage. And the apostles laid down for them an ordinance, saying, all those who had received his flesh and his blood are brethren. Their mother is the church of their father, and their father is God. And they cry out with Christ, whom they have received, saying, our Father who art in heaven. And as concerning Solomon, no law had been laid down for him in respect of women, and no blame can be imputed to him in respect of marrying many wives. But for those who believe the law and the command have been given that they shall not marry many wives, even as Paul saith, those who marry many wives seeketh their own punishment. He who marrieth one wife hath no sin, and the law restraineth us from the sister-in-law in respect of the bearing of children. The apostles speak concerning it, and the book of counsels. We're going to do 2 more pages. Let's get to the next. I just want to get to the next. Yeah, the next stopping point. Concerning the 318 patriarchs. Now we ordain even as did they, We know well that the apostles who were before us spake. We, the 318, have maintained and laid down the orthodox faith, our Lord Jesus Christ being with us, and he has directed us what we should teach and how we should fashion the faith. The narrative of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba continues. And King Solomon sent a message unto the queen, saying, now that thou hast come here, why wilt thou go away without seeing the administration of the kingdom, and how the meals for the chosen ones of the kingdom are eaten after the manner of the righteous, and how the people are driven away after the manner of sinners? From the sight of it, thou wouldest acquire wisdom. Follow me now, and seat thyself in my splendor and in the tent, and I will complete thy instruction, and thou shalt learn the administration of my kingdom. For thou hast loved wisdom, and she shall dwell with thee until thine end and forever. Now the prophecy maketh itself apparent in this speech. And the queen sent a second message, saying, from being a fool, I have become wise by following thy wisdom, and from being a thing rejected by the God of Israel, I have become the chosen woman because of this faith, which is in my heart. And henceforth I will worship no other God except him. And as concerning that which thou sayest, that thou wishest to increase in me wisdom and honor, I will come according to thy desire. And Solomon rejoiced because of this. Oh, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, get this shit together. Hey, clean that up. Put them draperies up there. Make everything live. I wonder how you got the message. And Solomon rejoiced because of this message. And he arrayed his chosen ones in splendid apparel. And he added a double supply to his table. And he had all the arrangements concerning the management of his house carefully ordered. And the house, like, and the house of King Solomon was made ready for guests daily. And he made it ready with very great pomp, in joy, and in peace, in wisdom, and in tenderness, with all humility and lowliness. And then he ordered the royal table according to the law of the kingdom. And the queen came and passed into a place set apart in splendor and glory. Oh shit. We don't have nothing like this in Ethiopia. What is that, a table? The showbread? Oh, man. And the queen came and passed into a place set apart in splendor and glory. And she sat down immediately behind him, where she could see and learn and know everything. And she marveled exceedingly at what she saw and at what she heard. And she praised the God of Israel in her heart. And she was struck with wonder at the splendor of the royal palace with excuse me, which she saw. Excuse me. And she was struck with wonder at the splendor of the royal palace which she saw. For she could see, though no one could see her, even as Solomon had arranged in wisdom for her. He had beautified the place where she was seated, and had spread over it purple hangings, and laid down carpets, and decorated it with Moscus, and marbles and precious stones, and he burned aromatic powders. Get some of that frankincense and myrrh. Burn that frankincense and myrrh here. Get like smell it good. Get it smelling good here. Yeah, there you go, like that, like that. Man. Aromatic powders and sprinkled oils of myrrh and cassia round about, and scattered frankincense and costly incense in all directions. And when they brought her into this abode, the odor therein was very pleasing to her. And even before she ate the dainty meats therein, she was satisfied with the smells of them. And with wise intent, Solomon sent to her meats, which would make her thirsty, and drinks that were mingled with vinegar, and fish, and dishes made with pepper. And this he did, and he gave them to the queen to eat. And the royal meal had come to an end 3 times and 7 times. And the administrators and the counselors and the young men and the servants had departed. And had departed. And the king rose up, and he went to the queen, and he said unto her, now they were alone together. Take thou thine ease here for love's sake until daybreak. And she said unto him, swear to me by thy God, the God of Israel, that thou wilt not take me by force. For if I, who according to the law of men am a maiden, be seduced, I should travel on my journey back in sorrow and affliction and tribulation. Don't just take it, Solomon. I do no such thing. I'm Solomon. I don't take it. Acquire the wisdom and knowledge. Singers, play me some of that smooth shit. Hey, this has been part 2 of the KEBRA NAGAST. The Queen of Sheba and her only son Menelik. We stopped on what I'm calling paragraph 30, I guess, paragraph of verse 30. The objective is to see what it is and what it ain't, what we can and what we can't, and the do's and the don'ts, and whatever treasures that may be found within the sea of pages that has been translated by E.A. Wallace Budge, called the KEBRA NAGAST. Damn, how many? Okay. We read from, in this part 2, we read from paragraph 21 to paragraph 30. Quite a few pages. We're doing good. This has, if I keep calling them paragraphs, this is a paragraph or section. Because I don't want to say verse. Verse is what I put in the description, but they're more than verses. They're more than verses. But if I go with paragraphs, it has 117. 117 paragraphs, and we're on paragraph 30. We stopped on paragraph 30. And we'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing one day at a time, one session at a time, one section at a time, one page at a time, here a little and there a little, till we can seek and find the treasures that have been left behind. And hopefully we can use them to change and rearrange the things in our mind to make us better. So we can apply them to our lives and become better than we were yesterday and better tomorrow than we are today. So, man, hope everybody enjoyed the reading, man. I think I read pretty good today. I was in that thing. Solomon, the Queen of Sheba. Tell me about Solomon. Tamron, call Tamron. Tell Tamron to come hither. I wish to know of Solomon. About 6'5". Very handsome man. Dark skin with locks. Gold everywhere. Diamonds all in his mouth. You got horn blowers and people working for him left and right. Oh, Queen, when I tell you, I ain't never heard nobody speak like this man. I ain't never heard nobody talk. Oh, Lord, just made my heart melt. The things I saw him do for his people. Oh, and they only worship one God. Oh, one God. Can you believe it? They only got to do one thing. We got to do all this shit. Shalom. Solomon. Oh. I gotta go. The counselor said, girl, you gotta go see the king. God just put it in my heart for me to go see Solomon. Take your ass off. Solomon over there cleaning up the house. Queen coming. Put that shit over there. Get that frankincense going. I want you to put a couple more over there. It's not frankincense enough for me. I want put a couple of more on the left pillar over there. Get some myrrh. Put the frankincense high, put the myrrh low. Go get some of that good wood. Not the bullshit. Put double of it. Two. We're gonna all praises, man. I love when I can read things that have me cracking up to myself. I guess because of how my mind works, whatever. But reading it, the fact that reading it how I'm reading it or trying to read it, hearing it read to myself is like me listening to it. Being that this is the first time I'm reading this book, is like me listening to it. I'm listening to myself read. And, I like when I can hear it and I get to important stuff and I can see the information, I can hear the information and grasp it. I can hear the funny things and grasp it. Expound upon it or go more into it or even shit. I just like I like that. I like that. So far so good. I like when I be reading good. Oh, I feel good when I be reading good. Make me want to be like I want to read like what's his name, man? They be reading for National Geographic. The antelope. As the mongoose digs deeper and deeper in the hole. The babies play at the swinging from vine to vine, the trees in balance with the clouds. Don't read me some shit. Shalom, shalom. Well, I gotta keep practicing. A little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. But all praises to the Most High, man. I had breath to breathe today, man. So I had all I need to succeed. And I have all I need to succeed. The same as you. You have all you need to succeed. So we got to succeed. Succeed at the little things, one day at a time, and work your way up, and we're going to succeed at the big things. And you're going to be better. You're going to be better. But all praises go to the Most High, man. So we're going to blow up the trumpets, man, so we can give reverence and give praise like they did up in the house of God of Israel. Blow them trumpets. Yes, King Solomon. Happy New Moon, everybody. Happy New Moon. And that was Rising Scripts for today, man. That was Rising Scripts. Oh, Rising Scripts was a good one today. King Solomon. The KEBRA Nagast. The Queen of Sheba and her only son, Menelik. Man, it's a good one today. A good Rising Scripts. Long, but good one. I appreciate everybody who stopped by, came in. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Shalom. Man, everybody appreciate the comments. It all helps the algorithm. But for those who watch it later, man, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your people, man, Shalom out here reading shit. We trying to learn shit. Oh, we trying to do some stuff, man. We trying to grow. We better. Oh, better. Be good examples. Better examples. Oh, yeah, better examples. So, hey, till next time, baby. I'm out here. I'm Shalom. I'm out here. And this has been Rising Scripts, man. Be on the lookout for the next one. We'll try to be back tomorrow, Lord willing, for the next section of Rising Scripts, part 3 of the KEBRA Nagast. I'm out.